This second-generation Honda NSX, like its predecessor, takes the fight to Ferrari in the junior supercar sector. And, like that earlier model, it goes about the task a little differently.
In considering this NSX, don't think of it as an expensive Honda. Think of it instead as a cut-price hybrid hypercar, because that's what it is. It's an electrified supercar with a battery providing electricity to two small motors driving the front wheels, as well as a larger one at the back, which assists a big 3.5-litre V6 powering the rear axle, which makes this a four-wheel drive hybrid powered by four motors. Yes, really. Now, continuing with the futuristic technology, the powerful brakes aren't actually connected to anything. The big pads are activated virtually, and the e-steering works in much the same manner. If, as a committed driving enthusiast, you're seeking an ultimately involving junior supercar, it might not sound too promising a recipe, but it doesn't take too long behind the wheel to discover that Honda has somehow woven all those elements together into a pioneering supercar that pushes class boundaries just as much as its iconic predecessor did. This NSX inspires cornering confidence in a way most exotic rivals simply can't match, and it's certainly fast enough, despite the inevitably prodigious weight that tends to afflict any car that mates electrical output with a turbocharged combustion engine. That twin-turbo power plant generates 500 horsepower, with a further 73 horsepower contributed by the combined efforts of the three electric motors mentioned earlier. Now, these work together to deliver an electrified boost that smooths over the slight reductions in torque that you'd otherwise find in the upper and lower parts of the rev range. The electric unit at the back, the so-called direct drive motor, which is wedged between the twin-turbocharged engine and its 9-speed dual-clutch automatic gearbox, acts as both a flywheel and a starter motor. Up front, meanwhile, lie the two further 38 HP motors that together create this car's TMU, twin motor unit, which is there to drive the front wheels, provide torque vectoring for extra cornering traction, and to complete the operation of this car's sport hybrid all-wheel drive system. The TMU also recovers braking energy during deceleration to supply power to the hybrid batteries. Now, these boost performance to the extent that 62 miles an hour can be dispatched in just 2.9 seconds on the way to 191 miles an hour maximum. Yet, they also aid frugality to the extent that a running cost improvement of around 10% is possible over this car's most obvious McLaren and Ferrari rivals. Expect 28.2 mpg on the combined cycle and 228 grams per kilometre of CO2. It's an established mark of supercar styling that every exterior element should serve a distinct purpose. And that's certainly the case here, as part of what designer Michelle Christensen calls the interwoven dynamic approach to this sleek silhouette. In profile, you better appreciate the way that the bonnet line, the roof line, the floating C-pillars and the rear quarter appear as one distinctive and unified curve. It all combines with remarkably short front and rear overhangs to create a sleek yet muscular overall stance that properly conveys the required sense of purpose and power. Okay, time to take a seat inside. Now, the cabin design doesn't share much with European rivals, apart from the way that this large centre transmission tunnel flows between the seats into the centre console. It certainly feels like a place designed to do business with the road. The focus appropriately centred on this magnesium-fashioned wheel, through which you view a driver-focused 8-inch TFT digital display that's dominated by a central rev counter incorporating a digital speed readout. Flanking this gauge are two digital charge meters, reminding you this Honda's electrified remit, with that for the main battery on the right, and the left-hand one briefing you on the sport hybrid system's current rate of assist charge. As you can see, there's no conventional gear stick, just this McLaren-style narrow centre console strip incorporating gear change buttons and the electronic handbrake. That's collectively a setup that you'll quickly adjust to. All of this works pretty well, but quite a few of the materials used to trim this layout feel decidedly low rent by premium supercar standards, and the same comment applies to this 7-inch centre dash Honda Connect colour touchscreen, just below which sits the large silver dial that you'll need to control the various settings of the car's integrated dynamic system driving mode setup. Now, finally, let's take a look in what we should call the trunk. this being primarily an American sports car, this boot is much wider than it first appears. Wide enough, in fact, to swallow the full-size set of golf clubs that the Japanese maker insists will somehow fit. This segment is full of compelling supercars, but this NSX offers something a little different, just as its predecessor did. It's a machine that's greater than the sum of its parts, a pioneering contender in this class that sees its creator once again pushing boundaries. Like the original NSX, this one reinterprets what a supercar can be and delivers it with everyday usability that few competitors can match. It's unconventional, it's divisive, and it defines the spirit of its brand in a way that's charmed us completely.